The blizzard arrived without warning, a white wall swallowing the narrow mountain road just as dusk fell. By the time Mira's car slid to a stop outside the remote Pinneglass Lodge, the world had gone silent, snow smothering sound, sky and ground stitched together in pale gray. Inside, the lodge smelled of pine wood and old books. A fire crackled, and only one other guest stood at the front desk, a man shaking snow from his coat, dark hair damp, eyes bright with the strange relief of having made it somewhere anywhere safe. "Looks like we're not going anywhere tonight," he said, glancing at the windows where snow pressed like a living thing. Mara laughed softly, the tension in her shoulders loosening. "I was supposed to be home by Christmas Eve." "So was I," he replied. "I'm Eli." They were the only guests stranded by the storm. The roads closed, the power flickered but held, and the lodge keeper retreated to a back room, leaving them with a pot of coffee, a roaring fire, and the slow realization that time had stretched wide and quiet just for them. They talked at first the way strangers do, skimming surfaces. Where they were from, why they were traveling alone. How strange it felt to be snowed in with someone whose life had never touched theirs before today. But as the night deepened and the storm howled louder, something softened between them. They sat closer to the fire, knees nearly touching. Shadows danced across the walls, as Eli admitted he'd taken this trip to escape a year that hadn't turned out the way he'd hoped. Mara listened, really listened, and surprised herself by answering with the truth instead of a polished version. "I'm tired of being strong," she said quietly. "Everyone thinks I have it together. I don't." Eli didn't rush to fix it. He just nodded, eyes warm. "Me neither." The clock crept past midnight. Outside, Christmas Eve arrived wrapped in snow and silence. Inside, they shared stories they rarely told, old regrets, quiet fears, moments that still ached. Each confession felt like laying down armor. At some point, Mara realized she wasn't cold anymore. They brewed tea. They laughed. Eli told her about the letter he never sent to someone he loved once. Mara spoke of a door she was afraid to open again. Their words filled the lodge with something gentler than the storm connection, fragile and real. When the fire burned low, Eli added another log. Their hands brushed, and neither pulled away. The contact was small, almost accidental, but it carried the weight of everything they hadn't said. Snow kept falling through the night. By morning, the world outside was buried and bright. The storm had passed, leaving a quiet beauty in its wake. They stood by the window together, wrapped in borrowed blankets, knowing the roads would open soon. "This was unexpected," Mara said. Eli smiled. "The best things usually are. They didn't promise forever. They didn't need to." What they had found in that snowed-in lodge, warmth, honesty, and a shared moment of being truly seen, was enough. And as Christmas morning light spilled across the snow, they both carried something new with them. The memory of a night where a storm had brought two strangers together and left them a little less alone. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoyed this content and want to support the channel, please take a second to subscribe.